Anyways, so today we're going to be speaking about being intentional. What does it mean to be intentional? How can you become more intentional? And this has to do with all your relationships in your life. So your spiritual walk with God, your walk with your friends, your relationship with your family, and then like for those of you guys that didn't know, your relationship with a guy or a girl of the opposite
I'm
sex.
not sure to say your relationship with God.
Oopsie. Bless me. Thank you. Okay, so Messiah, what is your definition of being intentional?
What did I say the first time?
Mm-hmm.
Intentional is planning out the things you want to do about something before doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and not just letting it randomly happen.
Okay, so do you believe that people should then have a planner, like, or their days planned out in order?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
I do. It helps me.
It helps you.
Like a to-do list. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I'll be able to get a lot of things done if I don't know what it is, because nowadays we have so many things we want to do.
Wow.
Like literally, and even at work, it's like you can't just go to work now and like if for me you have to specify what you want to achieve for that day.
That's so true.
Otherwise, you just find out that you didn't really achieve anything or much. So it's like, okay, what do I want to achieve today? If you're working on an application, for instance, building an application, is like, what part of this application do I want to get done today?
Yeah.
Do I want to finish the login page? Do I want to finish the contacts page? It's like you have to have, for me at least, it helps for you to have
a plan,
specifics.
Oh,
narrow it down.
Wow.
What do I really want to achieve today? Just one thing, and let that be what you focus on for that day. That way you see yourself making daily progress. But if you make it very ambiguous, for me, I'll just run and hide. I get overwhelmed pretty quick. So it's like, we have to build this house. Okay, bye, I'm gone. But just like Will Smith said in his documentary, I don't know if you watched it, that's one major very profound thing that he said. Really, just focus on laying one brick at a time. So if you focus on the house, you might just run away, like me, if you're overwhelmed. If you're not an overwhelmed person, if you don't get easily overwhelmed, then fine, I'm happy for you. But if you're someone like me, then you just want to focus on laying one brick at a time. Just come today and put that brick right there. Come tomorrow, put the second one right there. And in a year, whatever, you see the house that you're trying to build. So for me, I like to focus on specifics. It helps.
Wow. I really like the fact that you like spoke about specific things. I feel like even in the place of prayer, we should be specific with what we're praying for, and not even that, what we're being thankful for. I feel like a lot of times we come to God and we're like, Father Lord, thank you for everything. But what is everything? Like, we don't take the time to list out the things that we are grateful for. You know, like, thank you for, I always say, like, Father, thank you for the oxygen, like, in my lungs, like, the very breath that I breathe. It is so, so important to lay out the specifics. Even when you go to your friend and say thank you, you know, you want to be specific. Like, they always ask you, like, what are you thanking me for? You know, if I just come to you today and I'm like, thank you, and you're like, what is this girl thanking me for? You have to be thankful for something. There has to be something in your heart. So I really, really like that. And I read somewhere, or maybe I watched the video, because I don't read. I watched the video somewhere that said, like, a man with no plan goes nowhere. Like, you know, if I don't have a plan for my life, like, if I don't have, and also, we're not saying that plans don't get malfunction. Plans sometimes, like, there are other things that come up, but just have something that you want to do. Have a set time you want to pray. Even if you accidentally go ahead and sleep a little bit past that time, you know, but still know that, hey, like, if I wake up, I'm gonna pray. Like, that's, or 10 p.m., because some people are not even morning people. Like, 10 p.m. is my time to pray. And even me, like, me personally, I have an alarm, 9:58, because I know 10 p.m. is time for me to pray. So 9:58 is time for me to pray. 6 a.m., which has now become 7:30 a.m., it's time for me to pray. And just, like, knowing that, you know, I have, like, immediately as my alarm go off, I know what it's for. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go and check Instagram. I know I'm being intentional in my quiet time. So that's even the next question. How do you be more intentional in your quiet time? How do you not let the distraction of this world, waking up and checking my Instagram and Snapchat, take away or consume the time that is meant for God?
It's this question that you're asking. They've been asking it since 1970. Nobody still knows the answer. Because what you're saying ties into self-control.
Wow.
Self-control has been a problem since the beginning of time.
Galatians 5, guys, the fruit of the Spirit.
And would always be a problem
Mm-hmm.
for human beings. So you can't be intentional without self-control. Just like what you just said, literally the last thing you said,
Mm-hmm.
that brought self-control to my mind. Like, how do I make sure that when the alarm goes up for prayer time, I don't start scrolling Instagram?
Wow.
It takes self-control
Yeah.
not to do that. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm tempted to do, but I'm not going to do it. So
Wow.
you control yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that is why self-control is one of the fruits of the Spirit, not something you can do by
And
yourself.
funny thing is, I'm just realizing self-control is self-control. It's like something internally, something I have to do, not something an external person can bring onto me. Like what I mean by that, right? Let's talk about being intentional in relationships so I can kind of tie this into. I feel like a lot of times when I say I'm being intentional with the people I want to associate myself with, people I want to date next, or not even people I want to date, one person I want to date next, so I then marry that person. When I say I want to be intentional, I feel like a lot of times the guys coming to me they have no
plan.
They
have no agenda.
Marriage is
no
not
vision
in their
whatsoever.
head. Literally, they're not. And so something I always tell them,
Dating for the fun of
hey,
it.
yeah, exactly, dating for the fun of it. And I'm always like, this relationship, like, if we're gonna enter in a relationship, I want it to be very intentional. But I feel like I sometimes carry the word intentional in my head because now it seems like I want a man from heaven to fall down. I don't talk to
Don't we
anybody.
all?
Yeah, like literally, like for people to talk to me, it's so hard because I'm like, my first question is, did God send you? Number 2, are you really truly being in, like, is this thing something that you're gonna be intentional about, like, through tough times, through hard times? So my question is, how do we, in regards to like relationships, right? How do we allow people to come into our life but still be intentional? Because even like I'll give an example. On Valentine's Day, I had so many